Okay, let's see. Am I here? Hi, guys. Let me see if it's live. Yep, we are live, baby. Okay, it's a 5 minute delay. Okay, well, at least we know. And now we know. Okay, thank you guys for joining us. This is our very first live, and I am excited about it. First of all, my name is Kimmy Marche. If you guys don't know, I started the Landlord Hackers page because I wanted a safe space where landlords could talk about really gruesome things about tenants, background checks, all kinds of different things, deposits, damages, professional renters, all kinds of things about I'm sorry, all kinds of things about landlording, right? Okie dokie. So I started the Landlord Hackers group, and I have been relentlessly trying to grow the group, um, so we can have people all over the world chiming in and giving us different tips and advice on different things on how they do in their states. So I came up with this thing, the hot seat, and it's a way for us to talk to other professionals, and then a chance for the people in the group to come on and ask questions too. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey, Lakeisha. So, oh, yeah. So that was the other thing too. So this live stream, because we're going to have multiple people, I had to get this service from StreamYard. So in order for you to make comments, you have to give StreamYard permission to, I guess, tap into your Facebook page or something like that. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, this is our first times. I know we're going to have hiccups and stuff like that. So we're just rolling with the punches. You heard me? All right. So today topic is deposits and damages. However, I decided to kind of veer off just a little bit because I saw in the comments and people that were joining, it was so many different people. A lot of people were new people and was asking the question on how to get started. So that would have been very appropriate for me to start off with how to get started. But in my mind, I was thinking everybody was already landlords. So um yeah, so we're going to talk about the deposits and the damages, but we're also going to talk about how to get started in real estate and how to get your first property too. So today's guest is my very best friend. It is none other than the GOAT, Kenny Shaw himself. And Kenny has been in the game as long as I have. I've been in the game for about 30 years. And Kenny used to be my mentor. And we bought our very first house together. And then after that, it was history. So I am going to invite Kenny on right now. He is waiting for us. Let's see. Let's see if I can get him on here.
Hello there,
Hey,
Kim. How are
Kenny.
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful this evening.
Good. I'm in Miami. Can you tell?
I can. I'm in Walmart. You see this wall behind me?
Listen, I was trying to see this new background.
Uh-huh.
But you can tell it's a background. But anyway, so Kenny, thank you for joining me here. And I was
You're
telling
welcome,
them,
Kim.
you're welcome. Thank you. I was telling them before you came on that you remember when we bought that very first house,
On
and
South Greer in
yes,
Memphis.
on South Greer.
I remember.
You remember.
I do.
So yeah, and do you remember you when we first met? So I think I met your dad first. And
Yes.
then yeah, I just want to be just like y'all. Right. I saw y'all driving the fancy cars and I want I want to be like them. So I started trying to be your friend. And then I told you about that house and you kind of helped me on that house and everything was history. from there, we've been friends for about what, 30 years?
At least 30 years.
Yeah, at least 30 years. All
Yes.
right. Okay. So, how many properties do you have right now?
About 50.
50?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, Kenny, so now are you managing these properties yourself?
I do self-manage my own properties.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. Because you know what I've learned in doing, I had a property management company. What was
Mhm.
the name of the company? I want to say it because the guy's dead now. You remember who I'm talking about? Terrence. You remember Terrence? And
Yes,
matter of
I
fact, he
remember.
was killed. He was killed by one of his tenants.
I
You remember
remember that.
that?
I remember that.
Oh my God. Yes, he was.
I
But
remember.
yeah. So that's not only, and that's another reason why this group is important, because you have to know how to approach some of these tenants. And so we were going to talk about damages in, damages in deposits and different things like that. But let me start off asking you, have you ever had like a problem tenant that you wanted to call the police on, or just what was one of your experiences where you dealt with a horrible tenant?
One of the worst experiences that I've ever had with a tenant. The We signed the lease, they moved in, they paid their deposit, and they paid
Mhm,
their first month's rent. But when it came time to pay the second month's rent, it wasn't paid by the 5th of the month. It
mhm.
wasn't paid by the 10th of the month. It wasn't paid by the 15th of the month. So we sent a notice to basically say, hey, your rent is late. We would appreciate it if you would make your rent payment before we turn your file over for legal action. So we did not get a response. Maybe about a week later, the neighbor next door said that the people had moved out. Went over to the property and the house had been stripped to the bone. The new cabinets were gone.
What?
The vanities were gone. The doors were gone. The furnace was gone. The AC condenser was gone. Everything, including the kitchen sink, was gone.
What year was this?
2017, 2000,
Recently?
2017, 16. What?
I said recently.
Yeah, 2016, 2017. That's the worst experience that I've ever had with the tenant.
Oh my God. You didn't tell me about that
It's so many stories that I have that I've never shared with you, but that was the worst experience ever.
one. So then what did you do?
The guy, he ended up getting arrested on an unrelated charge. He ended up getting arrested on a domestic violence charge. I
Mm,
don't know what happened after that. Lost
mhm.
contact with him and his wife. So it was a crazy situation.
So,
Filed a police report. The
okay, yeah.
police came over. I had before pictures, and of course, I had the after pictures, and
Mhm.
explained to them that, for example, this guy just moved in December 1st, and he paid December rent. He paid January rent, for example, and now it's February the 9th, and he's gone. And look at my house.
So did you do an eviction? Did you go ahead and do an eviction, or you just took possession of your property?
I don't think I ever got to the point of actually filing the eviction. He left, the house was vacant, obviously.
Mhm,
So I just
mhm.
took possession, and I never did go through the actual process, which is recommended by attorneys, to just
Right,
don't assume that since the people are gone, you still
right.
go through the eviction process on the vacant property, and you have the attorney to file the writ, the WRIT of possession, and have the sheriff deputy or the private process server to come out and officially and legally turn the house back over to you.
Right, because when you do that, you also get a judgment, because I
You
have a
do.
judgment right now for $25,000 for the guy that was in my house on Lionsgate.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, you can get a judgment. And so whenever they get a job or report some income, you can garnish their checks.
You sure can. And
Yep.
what I've learned over the years is in order to get a monetary judgment,
Hmm.
the process server has to physically serve the people in hand.
Yeah,
That
that's
way
right.
you're able to get a money judgment in addition to a judgment for possession.
Right. But see, because you had that police report, you could get restitution. So it wouldn't come from like I guess the judgment, it would come
Mhm.
from restitution. I guess two
Okay.
different things. Yeah, because
Okay.
I have restitution from a tenant right now, and all you need is like the pictures, the damages, like you had a police report, and then a witness. You know,
Mhm.
So I had the next door neighbor saw them. They bust holes in the wall, kicked the door in, all because they were mad, and they had to get out. So yeah, so okay, no, I didn't know that. Wow. So do you want to tell that tenant's name so we can be aware of this person?
I don't remember the name. I can look it up for you.
Yeah, we need.
I, that's really a blast from the past. I could look it up and I could share it with you the next time.
No, share it with the group. Post it in the group. We
I'll
need
share it. Okay, I will.
because I tried to start a group where landlords could like instead of doing like a background check, like we can have
Mhm.
like this group of bad and horrible tenants. Because do you remember that lady of this house, that house I had over there near Rhodes College on Valentine?
I do. I remember your home on Valentine.
So you remember what happened? You remember what happened over there? And she was a professional.
Vaguely.
Okay, so basically this lady, she didn't pay the rent. And so I took her to court. And when we got in court, she told the judge that this was not my house, was not her, it was not my house. I was, in court, I was representing myself because that's the other thing. So you can represent yourself in court if you put the lease in your name personally. But if you put the lease in your company's name, you have to be represented by a attorney. Did you know that?
Yes, ma'am. I did. I knew
I
that.
I, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, see how smart you
I'm not smart. I'm just experienced.
are? Okay, you experience just seasoned. So anyway, I learned that. So anyway, that day I was representing myself. So she got up there and said, "Well, Judge, this is not her house." And I was like, "What?" So then the judge takes a recess and goes and looks up the house and says that in fact this is not your house. And I was like, what in the world? Then what come to find out, this lady actually quit claimed the house to herself. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Kenny, the lady yes, she quit claimed the house to herself. So she forged my name,
And
had
stole
someone
your house.
and stole my house.
Stole, not sold, stole your house.
Stole
Wow.
my house. Yes, she
Wow.
stole my house. So I left out of there so like I didn't know what to do. So then I had to call an attorney and they were like, well, we're going to have to do a foreclosure. And I was like, a foreclosure, that takes 9 to 10, sometimes 12 months to do a foreclosure. So I was crying because I just, nothing had never happened like that before.
Mhm.
So then I even called a news station. I was like, this lady stole my house. I wanted some help. I wanted some help. So
You've had so many experiences and incidents over the years. It's just I can't remember them all. It's been so many. I'm
but
saying we've had.
this one
I
was
remember Valentine. I remember how it looks. I know exactly where the house is, but it was. I remember you had some struggles with that house.
but that was my first experience with a professional renter. And
Hmm.
what a professional renter is, right?
Yes.
So a professional renter is a person that knows the laws in and out that uses them against us. And she was a
Yes.
professional renter. So to end that story, I stole my house back. All right. Now, what were you going to say? You said the other time what?
There's been so many situations over the years with bad tenants, with contractors that we've dealt with, situations dealing with the previous owners of the properties. It's just I can't remember everything, but you and I both have so many stories
Thousands of
that we.
stories. Well, let's talk about how when did you purchase your first house?
My first investment property, I purchased it in 1995.
1995. Wow. So yeah,
But
I
but
didn't.
my first home that I actually lived in, it was in 1993.
No, I'm talking about for investment. So the very first,
1995.
okay, the very first one that you purchased, did you do it as a flip or a hold?
I did it as a flip.
Okay. All right. So when was the first time you got to where you figured out I want to keep this house and I want to, have cash flow?
1997.
In 97. Okay. So is
Yes.
there any advice you would like to give the landlord hackers on how to obtain their very first rental property?
Sure. It's there are many opportunities when it comes to purchasing properties. You could connect with a realtor, or you can connect with a local wholesaler. Here in the Memphis market where I am, there are many individual wholesalers that find really good deals from private owners, and they offer those deals to investors such as myself, such as others that may be present on this live presentation this evening. And you can purchase these sometimes distressed properties at a deep discount. And I'm using the term distressed properties loosely, but some of these homes are in really good condition. I received a phone call earlier from a wholesaler who's in Miami. He has a home that he's offering for sale for $110,000.
Mm-hmm.
It needs cosmetic work, but once the renovations are done and the property is put in good condition, the value will be $200,000. So
Wow.
just as soon as we get off of this live tonight, I'm going to do my research and see if this would be a good opportunity for myself. So to cut to the chase, for those that are tuned in, make sure that you establish a good working relationship with local wholesalers in your market, but at the same time, establish working relationships with wholesalers that don't live in your particular city, but are wholesalers. I've spoken with quite a few wholesalers from California, from New York, from Florida, Alabama. They don't live here, but they find deals in Memphis, Tennessee, where I am, and they make contact with me to see if I'm interested in purchasing these properties.
So what would be the benefit of them talking to a person in Florida though, in a wholesaling?
Well, the benefit would be uh, for the gentleman that called me earlier, Jack. He lives in Florida, and he did tell me that the house that he has in Memphis that he's offering for sale to me, he has it under contract for $103,000. So
In Memphis,
basically, if he lives in Miami,
but the house is in Memphis.
but the house is in Memphis.
Oh, okay,
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 yeah,
okay,
yeah. I'm
okay.
sorry for not making it clear, but he lives in Miami. He has a house under contract with the actual owner of the
Mm-hmm.
property. The
Mm-hmm.
property is here in Memphis. He has it under contract for 103,000. He's offering it to me for 110,000. We've done several deals together, and I believe in the wholesalers that I'm working with. I want them to make money. So
Oh,
if I
okay.
don't give the wholesalers a hard time trying to haggle them down, and instead of me
Mhm.
saying, "Hey man, will you be willing to make $1,000 and I'll buy this property from you for 104,000?" I don't think that's fair. So
Right.
almost always I'm willing to pay the wholesalers price without haggling them down. It's like when you go to CarMax, they don't haggle on the price. The price, it is
Right.
what it is. And I built relationships with the wholesalers. So when they come to Kenny, they know that if Kenny likes his property, it's money in the bank, and Kenny's not going to try to beat us down on the price.
I'm the total opposite.
Okay.
Because if that's a good that's good, but sometimes you'll have wholesalers where they won't leave meat on the bone. You know what I'm saying? They won't leave enough
Mhm.
meat on the bone where if you need to do a refi and what you call the method, the bird method, you can't do it if it's too much. If they have it priced too high.
Yes.
I have an experience. Well, I did. Eric, he has good properties.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but you said that you were going to do your research on to see if it was going to be a good deal. Is there an app that you use, or is it a performer? How do you know it's a good deal? Uh,
No, what I'm going to do when I hit the computer later. I'm going to pull up the sales comps to see what homes are selling for in the
on
particular
what on
area.
what website?
There's a My wife is a realtor. So
Okay.
my wife has access to the MLS comps, but there are sites that are available, such as PropStream,
Mm-hmm.
EROPSTREAM.com. It's one of the sites, it's a paid service that you can look at the same comps that realtors are
Mm-hmm.
able to look at to make a decision on whether or not the property that you're considering purchasing, if it's a good deal. But you're able to also view sales comps in the area. So based on what Jack told me, the property, he estimates the value to be $200,000. So
Okay.
when it comes to determining whether or not a property is a good deal, I take 75%. 75% of 200,000 is $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I refinance the property or if I purchase it, the average lender is going to be willing to lend 75% of the after repaired value, the ARV, which is 150. So 150 minus 110, that's a $40,000 spread. Maybe the property needs $10,000 worth of cosmetic renovations or $20,000 worth of cosmetic renovations. But just from what I'm seeing initially, based on what he has said, it appears to be a good deal, but I'll look at it further once I do my own examination.
Okay. All right. So I'm not quite sure what that he say she say because I don't take. I have to do my own research. But
Right.
I understand you're
Right.
gonna do yours, but you saying I guess you probably did more deals with him. But right now we're gonna bring Curlin in,
Okay.
and she's a member of the landlord hackers group, and she's in Memphis. She has 7 properties, and we are going to allow each week for a member to come on and to ask questions and give advice or tips. And let's meet Miss Carolyn. Hey, Carolyn,
How are you doing, Carolyn?
can you hear us? I can't hear her. Can you hear her, Kenny?
No.
We can't hear you. We
Her
can't hear.
video is still
Oh, wait.
like it's frozen.
Okay, let's see. Say something now. No. Oh, wait. Yeah, we can hear you. Are you on Wi-Fi? Hello? Can't hear you. Not really. And I don't know what to tell you to do. So okay, so I don't know what to. I hear a lot of the edit mic.
You think she can maybe log out and log back in?
Okay, Carolyn, can you hear us now? Carolyn, can you hear us now? I hear you. Okay, I got to take her out because that was too much noise. I can't. I don't know. So Carolyn, I'm sorry. I can't. We couldn't hear you. We could not. We couldn't hear you. If you try to log out, then log back on, then we'll see if it comes back up. But okay. So in the meantime, Kenny, um, let's see. Where were we? You were talking about your last deal with the wholesalers. Where can they find these wholesalers at? Do you have like a list of wholesalers that you can give us, or is that secret sauce?
It's not secret sauce.
Oh, okay.
The main way to locate wholesalers,
Mm-hmm.
if you drive around your city looking for bandit signs,
Mm-hmm.
or if you see posts on social media that says "We buy homes,"
Oh
many of
yeah.
yeah many of those companies are wholesalers, and
Right.
even though they may be advertising that we buy homes, but they're not going to buy every one of the homes that come their way.
Right.
Um, for example, a local wholesaler runs a lot of commercials on on television on television here in Memphis, but I get emails or text messages from them every day that they
Mhm.
have a home that they'd like to wholesale to me.
Okay. All right. That's a good idea. I told you so smart, Kenny. That's why
I'm
you're
not
my
smart, I'm
friend.
just experienced.
That's why you're my friend, Kenny. Well, is there anything? Because we're only, these things are only going to last 30 minutes. So, is there
Okay.
anything else that you want to say? I don't see any questions over here. I don't
Okay.
see any questions over here. So, any last minute tips or okay, wait, I do want to ask a question. So, being a private landlord, I'm sorry, being a private, what would you call that? No, being that you manage your own properties in your
Mhm.
private landlord. So, do you do a background check or do you just check the system for, um, for evictions?
One moment. Okay, what I do, I use a system that's called Buildium,
Mm-hmm.
Buildium.
Mm-hmm.
It's for small landlords such as myself, which
Okay.
50 properties, that's a lot, but really in the grand scheme of things, it's really small
Right.
because there are some companies or management companies that have thousands of properties, but the Buildium software platform, it is expandable. So within the Buildium software platform that I use that's cloud based,
Mm-hmm.
um, Buildium charges, I think it's $17 to do the background check, credit check.
$17.
I think $17. Background check, credit check, and a rental check or eviction history report. So
Okay.
I think it's $17.
Okay, and that's Buildium.
Buildium, yes, ma'am.
Can you do it as an individual or do you have to be a company?
You can do it as an individual.
Okay. All righty. So Carolyn is back on. We got a couple of more minutes. Carolyn, can you hear us now? Can you say something? Oh, it's still
Hello,
frozen.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear
Hello?
you, but I think it's kind of frozen.
Yeah, it's going in and out. Mhm. Okay. Is it frozen? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
it's still frozen and kind of shaky a little bit.
see you both fine.
Huh? So Kenny, okay, so Carolyn, I'm sorry that if you can type your question or comment in the comment section, we can get to you. But I only want to do these for about 30 minutes, and we are at the 30-minute limit. So to close out, Kenny, one question says, this guy right here, we can get to him, says, wanting to get in the game as an investor, what's the best way to get a loan? So, Kenny, go ahead and answer that question as quickly as possible.
My advice for the Facebook viewer is to check with your banking institution that you have a relationship with.
We don't want to use no bank. Don't give us no. We want the real sauce. Ain't nobody going to the bank. Our credit score 200.
So check with your bank if you get a home equity line of credit, or you can check with a hard money lender.
That's what we want to hear.
Hard money lenders don't check your credit. The payment is a little bit more. Hard money lenders don't want don't want bank statements. They don't want your DNA. They don't want your firstborn. But most hard money lenders are asset-based lenders. They want the deal. So for example, the house that I mentioned earlier, that's $200,000. If I go to a hard money lender, they will probably lend me $150,000, which is $40,000 more than I'm going to buy the property for. So I've got $40,000 to do $20,000 worth of renovations. So I may actually walk away from closing knowing that, hey, I just made $20,000.
Right. Yeah. So that's what really people want to know, because to be honest, it's very hard to start in real estate when you have a job and then you still trying to pay the bills and you trying to get that first house. That very first house is very hard to do. But once you get that first house, then the other ones just come like clockwork, because now people know your family, your friends, and your Facebook friends, social media family knows that you're in real estate. So they start sending you deals. I get deals in my inbox all the time that I turn over to Kenny, or I turn over to other people who are still purchasing. Now, I'm not purchasing, but I would also like to add that I am an actual hard money lender as well. So if anybody in the Memphis area would like for me to look at your deal to see if I can loan you some funds, I would definitely be open to that. So, but make sure it's a great deal and it's some meat on the bone, because my rates are not cheap, right, Kenny? We can't hear you. Oh, there we go. Wait.
Rates are definitely not cheap.
Wait, I missed it. Say it again. You were on.
Okay, your rates are definitely not cheap. Your hard money, you make hard money loans.
But we get the deal done. We get the deal done, right?
We do.
Right. So Kenny is an awesome person. If you guys want to, check with him, his Facebook page is Kenny Shaw. He has a Facebook group where he's showing people how to do the BRRRR method, right?
That's right.
What's the name of your group?
It's BRRRR Homes. BRRRR Homes. BRRR.
Let me see.
BRRR Homes. HOMES.com.
.com. Okay, let me put it right there. Let me see if I can put it right there. Is that right?
No space between BRRRR and Homes.
Oh, okay. Okay. BRRR. How many R's is it? 3? Is it 3 R's? Is it 3 R's, Kenny?
4.
4.
The first R is for a B is for buy. First R is for renovate. Second R refi. Second R rent. Third R refinance. Last R repeat. So it's 4 R's.
Okay. All right. So and it's also possible when you borrow money from hard money lenders, you can walk away with a check, right?
You can.
Like you don't even have to have any money. If you find the right deal, you can find a house, get a hard money lender involved, and then at the closing table, get a check for $10,000, $5,000, even $1,000. And that's better than bringing money to the table yourself, right?
That is absolutely right.
Right. And then it still may be enough money on the back end to when you refi to pull out the cash.
That's right. And
Do you still
there's no better feeling going to closing to buy a house
right.
when you leave the closing table, you leave the attorney's office, title company with a check.
Right.
That's the ultimate. That's
Right.
the ultimate sauce.
Right. That's the ultimate sauce right there. Well, Kenny and Carolyn, I really appreciate you guys for logging on here. We're a little bit over time. We'll see how these go. Maybe we'll do longer next time, but that is all for today. Kenny, I appreciate your time, taking time out.
Thank you for inviting me.
Come and talk to the landlord hacker. And Miss Carolyn's in Memphis too. She has 7 houses. Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
That's good. One lady was like, I just got one house.
Thank you.
But one house is, I told her, like, a win is a win. We don't take little wins. A win is a win, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So on that note, this is the winner's circle. The winner's circle. Signing off. Thank you, Kenny and Carolyn.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.